Hello and welcome to another episode of IBI On Site. As you can see, we're here again at Progressive Field with the Cleveland Indians, and there might have been some big news today regarding the city of Cleveland, but we're focused solely on baseball in today's episode. We might throw a little bit of LeBron James in there, as today may be one of the biggest days in Cleveland sports history. But nevertheless, we've got a big show for you, so let's get ready to roll. All right, we're going to start off this Indians edition of IBI On Site with August Fagerstrom, who we've talked to in the past with the Rubber Ducks. He's kind of made his way up to the big leagues, working for the Akron Beacon Journal. How's it going so far?
It's going great. I'm just enjoying the experience. It's the Rubber Ducks is fun for sure. It's always nice to be up here in this beautiful stadium and getting to experience the big leagues like everyone else.
Right, and speaking of great things, there is a great thing going on here in Cleveland today with LeBron. We're not going to get into that. We're going to get into another number 23, and that's Michael Brantley, who's an All-Star, the lone representative for the Indians this year. What has made him so successful thus far in 2014?
Everything. He's really taking great strides at the plate. That's the biggest improvement. He's just not really much seems to have changed his approach. It just kind of seems like, he was always a good line drive hitter, always hit a lot of doubles, and, a lot of those doubles turn into homers now. He's making more consistent contact, but, it's really not just that. In the field, he's always been, at least an average, if not above average outfielder with the arm this year. I think he's got 10 outfield assists. He's been running the base as well like he always has. He's not just an offense guy. He's an everything guy. And, it's pretty, it's a stretch of a comparison, but, you look at his numbers against Mike Trout, and Trout's been better, yeah, but just the fact that he's been that close really speaks volumes to how good and how valuable he's been to the Indians this year.
How good do you see him in the future? Because I myself see him as a future perennial All-Star. If he continues at this rate, what do you see him as?
I don't know, and that's the thing, is that there's really not much out of line. He doesn't have a crazy high BABIP. There's not some of the stats that you look for. To expect regression from someone, really, there's not that many red flags for Brantley. I think as long as he continues to hit line drives, with some of this increased strength and some of this increased power that he has, he's not going to be this good, at least at the plate. But I think there's a new Michael Brantley. I think that there's going to be a guy that could be a perennial All-Star. He's going to be good in the field. He's going to be good in the bases. Whether he keeps this level of offensive production up remains to be seen, but I think that he'll be closer to this version of Michael Brantley than the last few years that we've seen.
All right, from an All-Star, an actual All-Star to an almost All-Star in Corey Kluber. My Twitter feed was inundated with Vote Kluber hashtags, but he still couldn't get the job done. Do you still think he was an All-Star at the end of the day, despite the lack of the fan vote?
Yeah, and so do the players in the Indians clubhouse. And, as they said, I think most of the players in the AL Central who've had to face Kluber this year would agree that, there really haven't been many guys better than him. His ERA, his strikeout and walk rates are all in the top 10. His ground ball and his home run rates are top 15, and that's in the entire MLB. That's not just the AL. He's been the undoubted ace of this Indian staff, and it's the shame that it came down to the final vote, which is a popularity contest. It's not based on what you've actually done, and I think he gets that. The Indians get that. He deserves to be an All-Star. Whether he actually makes it, obviously he didn't, but, I think they all know, what he's done. And as he said, that doesn't take away from what he's done this year. So, should he have been an All-Star? Yeah, but, he's a quiet guy. This is his first year really doing it. He doesn't have the kind of name recognition that some of the guys who won the final vote, had, and he didn't have the market of, a Chicago or an Atlanta to get those kind of votes. Cleveland did come out strong on Twitter to, try and get him in. They came up just short, but, he earned it.
Right, and that 8-6 record is something that maybe kind of cost him a little bit because his ERA was there. The wins and loss, I'm not a big fan of. I know you're a stats guy. Are you a big fan of that?
No. No, there's something to be said of, I think, going deep enough into a game to give your offense the opportunity to score some runs. But other than that, no. There's nothing else that, that they could have asked for him to do. Wins and losses, rarely are a reflection of, actual skill or actual talent or performance. And he's done all they've asked of him and more. So no, I don't think so. Now that may have played into some of the fan vote because that is still a stat that people look at. But I don't think that the Indians or Kluber are actually worried about that.
All right, well, we go from talking about all-stars to call-ups. A lot of guys have been coming up to the Indians organization with injuries abounding here in Cleveland with Michael Bourne and whatnot. Last night we saw Roberto Perez hit a home run and just kind of have a day. And then Chris Dickerson's been here. He's been producing. How have these guys been able to come in here and make such a big impact right away?
Yeah, it's been really impressive the way that, every time it seems like the Indians have had someone go down, they have someone, fill in admirably, And I don't think it comes as too much of a shock, really. I mean, you look at Roberto Perez's numbers in the minor leagues. I mean, he's always been a league average hitter, every level of the way. It's been more because of his plate discipline. He walks nearly as much as he strikes out. Up until this year, he really never had demonstrated that much power. He'd never hit more than 6 home runs in a season. He'd already hit 8 in 50 games in AAA. Last year, he dealt with Bell's palsy, which is, a facial paralysis condition that, obviously he tried to fight through that and it hurt his numbers quite a bit. But, he still fought it out. And, he's over that now, and that's been reflected in his numbers this year. I mean, he's been hitting the ball hard, and he has also been praised for his ability behind the plate. I mean, that's been his strength up until this year, was how he called games and how he received pitches behind the plate. But now he's starting to hit too, and it's not just obviously it was only one game, but he was hitting before that. So I mean, you could kind of see that coming. And same thing with Chris Dickerson. I mean, he's gone back and forth between AAA and the major leagues, and all of his time so far in his career, but he's always hit at an above average level even in the majors here. So I mean, it's really not that much of a shock. I mean, these guys have performed when given the opportunity at their respective levels so far, and they're doing it now here. And it's obviously very welcomed by the Indians. And it's not just those two guys. I mean, Kyle Crockett's done a good job. Everyone that they've called up, it seems. I mean, TJ House has been doing what's been asked of them. That's obviously very appreciated, of them when they've got guys going down with injuries.
Right, and we've seen our fair share of minor league baseball. Is that a testament to the Indians organization, the way they're running things now? I know in the past the draft picks have been a problem, have been a big issue that people have talked about, but are we starting to see a change in, just a change in their overall philosophy at the minor league level?
You might be, yeah. I mean, I can't speak as to what those changes might be, but I mean, we haven't even seen the guys that are supposed to be, we haven't even seen the Lindors and the Naquins and the Fraziers. I mean, to be having, kind of some of the lower level guys come up and make this kind of impact, that really, that can build some excitement, some optimism for, what the actual prospects may be bringing in the future.
All right, to move on to the bullpen, something that's been so strong all year long and something that I really wanted to get into. How is this group, despite their huge number of innings and huge number of appearances, how have they been able to stay so good for so long?
Tito mentioned the other day in a pregame interview how he thinks all the guys complement each other well. And what he means about that is that, everyone's got a role. And what's happening, I think, kind of quietly in Cleveland here is we're seeing kind of a revolutionary bullpen approach. You've always, seen guys have defined roles. You're the 7th inning guy, you're the 8th inning guy, you're the closer. John Axford was removed from the closer role almost 2 full months ago now, and we've yet to have an actual closer named here in Cleveland. Typically, you go 2 months without a closer being named. That spells a bullpen in disarray. That's not the case here in Cleveland. I mean, they've got, I think last night, the 6th best ERA in the entire MLB out of their bullpen. And, it comes because each guy isn't limited to an inning, rather what they can do against the opposition. You've got Brian Shaw gets righties out. Zepp gets the lefties out. You've got Atchison's got one of the best ground ball rates, in all of baseball. Allen's been acting as kind of a de facto closer, but really whenever they call on him, he gets the job done. And then you've got Carlos Carrasco, who's been kind of the utility man of the bullpen, where he can come on any inning, any situation, and give them 2 or 3 good innings. So, it's kind of an approach that some of the sabermetric type guys have been looking, for someone to do to kind of play guys based on matchups and what they do as opposed to restricting them to an inning. And it's been working out really well here in Cleveland. As long as they keep doing this, this well, they don't really need to name a closer. I mean, it's been working out well.
All right, finally, looking forward to the second half of the season. Where is this club going? Is this club going to be the 500 club that we've seen all year? Are they going to push? Or are they going to fall back? Where are they going to go?
It's hard to say. I think you can see this team make a push like they made last year, though. I mean, obviously you've had a couple guys, Chisenhall, Brantley, Kluber, who have been, exceeding expectations, but you're just now starting to see Nick Swisher start to come around. Kipnis seems to finally be healthy, and he's been thriving in the leadoff spot. You know, I mean, you have to expect, a guy like Justin Masterson, once he gets his, his knee injury out of the way, and, maybe this time off can help him with his mechanics. I mean, it seems like there have been more guys underachieving than there have been overachieving, and, there's still a 500 club. So, I think the bullpen, is set up for success the rest of the way. Kluber, I think, is going to keep doing what he's doing, but, I think you'll see some of these guys like Masterson, Kipnis, Santana's been great in the last month, after he's been moved to first, and, he's been kind of figuring things out since his concussion. I think you're going to see more of the guys who have been underachieving kind of regress to the mean than some of the guys who've been overachieving regress to the mean. So, I mean, I think there'll be at least a 500 club, and you could see them make a surge like they made, last year to get into the playoffs.
All right, August, it's always a pleasure having you on. Give yourself a little plug time for Fangraphs and the Akron Beacon Journal.
Yeah, you can read my work on Ohio.com and also Fangraphs.com. And my Twitter account is at AugustFABJ, which is AUGUSTF_ABJ. And thank you again, Hayden, for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
All right, when we get back, we'll have more for you on IBI On Site.
This is your host, Hayden Grove, inviting you to catch all of the episodes of IBI On Site at IndiansBaseballInsider.com. I've been to every Indians affiliate in Ohio, giving you insight into what's going on in the Indians system, and will continue to do so throughout this summer. Be sure to look out for more episodes in the coming weeks.
All right, welcome back to IBI On Site. I'm now joined by one of the newer Indians here in Cleveland, Mr. Chris Dickerson. It's been a bit of a wild whirlwind for you thus far, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's been an interesting week, and the first couple of days was just your head spinning, just being poked and prodded at, and meeting a million people, and between the different medical tests and strength tests and all this stuff, it's been pretty crazy. But being thrown right into the fire, straight in the lineup, kind of eases things out a little bit, and luckily had some success, and we had a pretty good series against the Yankees.
Now, that success, just being in that mindset of just kind of getting into the fire, does that kind of eliminate some of the thinking that goes into playing out like at this level right now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a shock. You show up, I'm like, okay, right into the lineup. It's there's a little bit of angst, but then again, it could be worse where you can sit around a couple of days and kind of wait. But it's easier to come in while you're still fresh and you're still sharp and you've been playing every day. So, it's all good stuff.
Now, what's your experience been like so far in terms of the clubhouse and teammates and whatnot? Have you gotten to really get in with the guys yet?
Yeah, no, that's the best thing about it is that I've known a lot of these guys for a long time. I played with Swish in New York. I've known Mike Aviles for close to 15 years now, and David Murphy. We grew up playing against Cape Cod League, and whether it's high school, college, or we played against each other in passing. So it's a lot of familiar faces, and it's just been a seamless transition, pretty so far.
Now, what were you thinking when you got that call? Were you thinking that all this would take place, just being right here, just right in the middle of this thing right now?
Yeah, it wasn't really a call. It was just kind of I got taken out of the lineup one day and said just kind of hang on for a sec. There's something in the works, and then they told me after the game. So. It's exciting, making the move and, finding greener pastures. And, I'm really excited to be part of something that's right in the pack. And, this team's very talented and in the hunt. So it's a very exciting time.
Now, what are you looking forward to most going forward? I mean, you've already had some success, but what are you going to do to keep that success going in the future?
Same thing whatever's giving me success now. I mean, pretty much just keep doing the same things. And then make the adjustments as they come along. But right now, just coming out, putting together solid at-bats, just focus on hitting the ball hard and not trying to do too much.
Finally, first impressions of Cleveland. What's the city like? How living in the city, I mean.
I've been here before, throughout my 7 seasons, and, I love coming to this ballpark, beautiful ballpark. It's great downtown. And so now it's a little bit more exciting now that LeBron's back, and, I'm going to have to go patch up my LeBron jersey now.
Was that part of the deal? You come, LeBron comes. Is that a package deal?
Yeah, I think that's how it worked. Yeah, I think he, called me, sent me a text, say, hey, you're there, coming back. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, well, thanks so much for coming on, and best of luck going forward. Thank you. Take care. We'll be back with more on IBI On Site.
Hi, this is Tony Lastoria from Indians Baseball Insider. The new 2014 Cleveland Indians Baseball Insider Top 100 Prospects and More book is now available at IndiansBaseballInsider.com, Amazon.com, and also local retail outlets at the Lake County Captains and the Mahoning Valley Scrappers team store.
All right, welcome back to IBI On Site. I'm sorry that the camera's at an awkward angle. My tripod is not cooperating right now, but I'm here with Corey Kluber, Indian starter. First of all, I got to ask you, because my Twitter timeline the other day was completely filled with Vote Kluber. What did that mean to you to have so much support?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think the fans, even teammates in the organization really tried, their best to try to, vote me into the game. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but I still appreciate all their support.
Now, coming into this season, what did you expect for yourself? Did you expect a season like you're having right now with so much success?
I don't really set numbers goals for myself. My goals more so are just to try to be consistent, from day to day, and try to be the same guy every time I go out there and be the best teammate I can. I think I've done a good job of that, and I think for me, if I focus on that kind of stuff, the results, so to speak, will kind of fall into place.
Now, is that the same thing that's happening with your strikeouts? I mean, strikeouts have been something that you've been really putting out there this year. Is that something that you expected, or is that something that just comes as a result of consistency and work?
No, I don't expect it, and I don't try to strike people out. I think it's just a byproduct of making good pitches, and if you make enough good pitches and work ahead in the count, I think they'll take care of themselves.
Now, with the AllStar break coming up, what are you expecting to do in the second half of the season? You've said a couple times consistency. Is that break going to be tough for you in terms of just forgetting about routine for a couple days?
No, I don't think so. I think we've all dealt with an AllStar break before. You just kind of figure out what you need to do to stay ready to where when the break's over and we get rolling again, you're ready to go.
Can you describe a little bit your routine, because you obviously seem to be a very consistent day-to-day guy? What do you do on between starts?
Day after my starts, usually the heaviest workload day as far as running and lifting and stuff, and then second day I'll throw a bullpen. Third day I'll get in for a little bit of a lighter lift, and then fourth day is just kind of doing what you need to get ready to roll once fifth day rolls around.
All right, second half, what are you expecting out of yourself? Again, we can talk about consistency, but is there anything that you're really looking forward to about second half, maybe pushing this team in the right direction?
Not personally. I think just the team-oriented stuff. I think we haven't played up to our capabilities yet, but I think the fact that we're still in the position that we are is a good thing. I think once we do start clicking on all cylinders, pitching, defense, offense all come together at the same time, I think we'll be good. Finally,
any thoughts on LeBron, just real quick?
I think it's awesome. I think it's going to bring nothing but good things to the city of Cleveland. Obviously you saw the excitement yesterday when he announced it and stuff, and I think that'll probably kind of filter down. There's a lot of excitement going on with all the Cleveland sports teams, and the more people we get downtown, the more people come to games, hopefully, and that's nothing but a good thing.
All right, there you have it. Corey Kluber and the Indians ready to roll in the second half. We'll be right back with more on IBI On Site.
This is IBI's Jim Piasek, encouraging you to check out my weekly piece, The War Room. The War Room runs every Sunday, bringing you the kind of advanced stats for Cleveland's minor leaguers you can't find anywhere else. So please join me each Sunday, and let me take you into the War Room.
Welcome back to IBI On Site. He's already energizing this city and this team right now. It's been a whirlwind couple of days with LeBron coming in, with you guys winning games. What's it been like for you?
Man, it's been awesome. I think there's a lot of talk about a lot of different things going on right now, but I think just in general, man, there's excitement around the city. And it's been a long time since all three sports teams have had this much excitement. So I think just in general, man, we should grab some powder, throw it up in the air. I mean, there's signs all over the place saying he's back. And myself, the team, the city, we could not be more stoked. So excited for what's to come, and for us as well, man. Really kind of turning the corner. That last game we had against the Yankees, man, was really kind of a swing game for us, putting us in the right direction, and we want to just continue to keep this roll going.
Now, continuing this roll is going to be tough with the AllStar break coming up. How do you push past the AllStar break and keep this roll going?
Well, I think just in general, the AllStar break is something we all need, man. There's no doubt about it. We played a lot of games right now. We've had a couple off days here in the last couple weeks that have really helped us kind of get to this point. But for me, man, I don't want that AllStar break coming, man. I'd just rather just keep playing right through. Everything kind of seems like it's going in the right direction for us. We're getting great pitching. We're getting great defense, clutch hitting, and we're all picking each other up, man, regardless if somebody makes an error, somebody gets, pitches a bad inning, they score a couple runs, it always kind of seems like we're right back in the groove of things.
Now, when you guys do get back from the All-Star break, I mean, what kind of things are you doing during the break to stay fresh, stay ready to get going?
Sleeping. No, I think, it's just the All-Star break, man. We've done this. We've all done this a couple times now. So I think just in general, it's kind of that time to kind of let those those bangs and bruises kind of get healed up a little bit. Enjoy your time with your family, because we're away from them an awful lot. So I think just for us, man, we're excited about that. But I think for us, man, we really got to keep pushing through. Big win for us last night. Got 2 more until that break comes, and there has to be no letdown at this point.
Now, what are you looking forward to most about the second half for this team? I mean, you want to push them about. Last year you had that little run in September. Are you going to do that again this year where you get to that point?
Well, I kind of think we're a scrappy squad, man. We may not be the most talented team out there. It may not be the prettiest game of all, but we're going to scrap and we're going to fight. It kind of seems like this last couple weeks, regardless of whatever the score's been, if we've been down early or down late, we've always kind of clawed and scraped our way right back into that game. So I just think we're kind of getting that attitude back, man, that confidence again that we had last year. I mean, from going from a team that lost 69 games, all of a sudden we win 92. I mean, that's a huge jump. So I think for us, that was a building block in the right direction. And we want to just continue to keep building, man. Have faith in ourselves, have faith in each other, and keep pushing on.
All right, last thing. I've heard a lot about LeBron being one of the first free agents to willingly come to Cleveland. I thought of you first, willingly coming to Cleveland. What was it about the city that brought you here in the first place?
Well, I just think for me, just like LeBron, I mean, this is kind of where it all started for me, in the state of Ohio. I mean, obviously the Ohio State, the love is here, man. And for myself, I wanted to be part of that. I was extremely proud and honored that the Indians wanted me to be part of that. And, I think for LeBron, same thing. I mean, he wants to end his career where he started. And I think for everything that he accomplished in Miami, oh my gosh, I mean, he was just off the charts. So we're so excited to have him here, along with Johnny Football's here. So there's a lot of excitement around the Browns as well. So I think this is kind of our chance to have that trifecta, to be one of the best sports cities in the country. And I think that with the talent that we have here, with the talent that the Cavs have, and the talent the Browns have, man, hey, sky's the limit.
All right, he's Nick Swisher, and you'll probably see him at the Cavs, Browns, in any game in Cleveland, repping the squad. Thanks so much for coming on today, and best of luck going forward.
You got it, man. Good to see you, bro.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of IBI On Site. I sure hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and we'll see what the Indians can do following the All-Star break. Be sure to look out for more episodes of IBI On Site in the coming weeks as we take you through more locations within the Indians organization. Until then, I'm Hayden Grove. We'll catch you next time.